All right, ladies and germs, it's the Rapid Rod coming at you again today with my next cooking video. Today, I'm going to be doing my special buffalo wings. Now, I know everybody on the internet has their own way and their own choice and selection of doing buffalo wings, but I'm going to show you how I do mine today. I'm going to first start off by mixing my barbecue sauce, because I don't like a straight regular barbecue sauce. I like to kind of, as Emerald would say, kick it up a notch. And so I put a little bit of each of these ingredients in. We have garlic over here, little garlic cloves in the bottle, but that's okay. You can chop them up fresh if you want, but it's just going to be the sauce, so it's not really that important. A little of the Golden's mustard, the Heinz 57, a little Tabasco for some heat, Sweet Baby Ray's for the sweetness. Then I have some Jack Daniel's sauce over here, which was given to me by a good friend of mine at my job. And then a little green Tabasco sauce, which is what I like. It's a more savory, less hot flavor than the red Tabasco sauce. And then finally, on this side, we have a little honey, and it's in a container. So I took it out the jar already, and I scooped it into the container. And I'm going to be mixing these ingredients together and make some delicious buffalo wings, Rapid Rod style. So stay tuned. Okay, we're going to first start off by taking our Sweet Ray's barbecue sauce, and that's going to be the base of our barbecue sauce. And we've got about 2.5 pounds of chicken wings, so we're going to need enough sauce so we can cover all of those wings. So that's the Sweet Baby Ray's. As I said, it's a little garlic. I don't want the juice to go in there, but I definitely want the garlic just to get that flavor in the sauce. Because later on, we're going to be cooking it down. We're going to boil the sauce and actually cook it down. A little Golden's mustard, just a spicy, it's a little spicy incentive there. A little Heinz 57, another little secret ingredient. Oops. Tabasco for heat. Now, not too much, because I don't like the hot sauce to be overbearingly hot. So you want to be careful how much you put in. And again, this green sauce is less hot, a little bit more savory than the red chili Tabasco sauce. And it just adds a nice robust flavor to round out the flavor of my sauce. And then a little good old historic Lynchburg Jack Daniel's. It's actually called Gourmet Deli Grilling Sauce. Not too much of that. I just want to put a touch in to get the flavor. Now, we still got the honey over there, but the honey's going to go in later. So all we do now, we take a whisk and we whisk all this down. Whisk it up real good. And what we're going to do is make a real nice sauce out of this. And it looks like it's going to be plenty of sauce. As I said, we're going to cook this down later and actually roll the wings in the sauce as it's in the pan, boiling down. Okay, so now that we have that done, we can add in a little bit of honey. Now, honey's going to add the sweetness to this, and it's going to offset the heat from the Tabasco sauce, and it's going to complement the mustard and all the other good stuff we have in there. The honey will also, once we are applying it to the chicken, it can caramelize a little bit and give you that nice crispy skin that we all like on our buffalo wings, at least that I like. So the honey goes in, and we continue whisking it down. And when we finish whisking it, we're going to let it set for a while, put it in the fridge a little bit, and then we're going to start the chicken. Okay, so actually, I've already taken the liberty of seasoning the chicken wings. I've actually cut them up. They came in a nice pack. I took them out, I cut them up, I cut the winglets off of the drumstick, and also cut the little wing tip off of the winglets, the flat part. We don't really use that too much when we do the the buffalo wings. So you can actually take those tips and boil them down and use them for a broth for another dish if you want to do that. This way you utilize every portion of the chicken. You don't waste anything. But anyway, so I've given these a nice seasoning, very elementary stuff. You guys who've watched my videos before know that I don't go too crazy on the seasoning. I think I use some smoked paprika, a little salt and pepper, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some Lowry seasoning salt. And with that, I'm just going to give it a gentle toss to make sure it all gets mixed up. Now, as I said, they've been in the fridge already for about 2 hours. And what you really want to do is, to get this flavor to really set in, if you can prepare your chicken from the night before, I like to, and let it season overnight. But you got to put it in an airtight container so that it doesn't, so that the juices just really meld in. And when you get to it the next day, boy, I'll tell you, that seasoning just gets in that chicken skin, gets into that chicken meat, and boy, you'll have yourself some excellent buffalo wings like you've never tasted before. But in this instance, I just put them on the fridge for a couple of hours because I actually wasn't even going to do this video today. I just decided at the last minute to throw it on. A couple of friends suggested, I told them I was going to be cooking some buffalo wings, and they suggested I put it on video. So I didn't really have all the adequate time to prepare, and I had already seasoned them before I started, went to film, to camera, to video, and so that's why you're actually seeing them already seasoned. Okay, and we're back, and what I'm going to do now is prepare my flour, because I'm actually going to fry these wings down. Now most people, when they do buffalo wings, they do them in the oven, or they do them on a grill, and I'm going to show you a way where you can actually fry them, because I like that skin on the buffalo wings to be really super crispy, almost shell-like, and then when you bite into it, you taste the tender flavor of the chicken with each bite that you get. So the way to do that is to actually fry these boys down a little bit. So to start with, I'm going to put a little flour in my bowl here, because I'm going to flour the chickens, and then I'm going to use, a friend of mine had given me a little packet from the Carnivore Club, and this is a traditional barbecue spice shaker, and I'm going to just spike this flour with just a little of this to give it a nice floured flavor for when I do dust the chicken wings in this thing. And that's what I'm going to do next. So basically, I just give a little spice inside the flour, whisk it around if you do. You can add other things in there if you like. Generally, I don't even like to season my flour. When I fry chicken and stuff, I don't season the flour because somehow that always takes from the overall product, in my opinion. But I'm going to do it this time because it's ultimately going to be buffalo wings and they're going to be barbecued. There's going to be barbecue sauce put on them after. So it doesn't really matter how the wings actually look after they come out of the frying pan. So now I'm going to start the process of dusting these off with a little flour. And you just throw them in there and you toss them around in the flour. You get a good coating going. And after they get good and coated, I just shake off the excess flour and I put them on my aluminum foil over here. And I'm going to do that with all the rest of the pieces of the chicken in preparation for the fryer. Okay, and we're back. So now we're over on the stove with the skillet, and I'm going to put the oil in the pan. And we want to get this oil at a pretty decent flame. I usually don't go any higher than medium. It's not really necessary. And I'm going to put a generous amount of oil in the skillet. And when this gets nice and hot, I put the wings that I've already floured into the fridge. Because one of the tricks to getting the flour to stay on the chicken when you're frying it, even if you're doing fried chicken, is to let the chicken set after you dust it with flour. Sometimes people dust it with flour and put it right in the frying pan, and the grease cooks the flour off, and you get that skin effect and the half-floured effect, and it's not the golden, crispy chicken that you're looking for. So a good thing you always want to do, in this case I'm doing it with the buffalo wings, but even if you're frying chicken, you want to dust your chicken with flour generously, shake the excess flour from the drumsticks, the drumlets, or the winglets, and then you can either set it on the side for a few minutes or put it in the fridge, and that will ensure that when you put it in the hot oil, the flour won't separate from the skin of the chicken. You'll get perfect golden brown chicken with a beautiful skin every single time. Let me count off. Oil is hot, and it's probably a little bit too hot. I waited too long to come and get it. You don't want your oil to burn. This is probably a little bit too hot. I took the chicken wings that are dusted with flour out of the refrigerator, and this is a little technique that my sisters taught me way back when I was a little tyke in Jamaica, New York, how to always test and see if your oil is ready. Because it's hard to look at the oil and see if it's ready. Sometimes it quivers and it has like ripples in it, but you just take a little pinch of flour and throw it in there, and you see that? You see what it's doing? And that's how you know your oil is absolutely ready. So we're going to lay these bad boys in and go to work. And I'll see you shortly. Okay, so I got the chicken in the frying pan, and these things are going pretty good. That oil was really hot. And I've stuffed that pan about as much as I could. I still have another couple of pieces over here that I couldn't get in the pan. You don't want to overload your pan too much. I know some people actually do, because if the oil's hot enough, it's all going to get cooked anyway. But I just didn't want to crowd the chicken. In fact, as the cooking process goes on and these begin to get more done, they will shrink slightly, and I'll have more room to get those last two pieces in. So we'll get back to this when we're ready. So stay tuned, folks. Okay, so they're cooking right along. I have not turned them yet. It's been about a minute and a half, but just want to make sure they get that good golden brown fry to them. I've put my splash guard, my screen splash guard on top of the frying pan, which I generally do anytime I'm frying anything. I don't like cleaning up a lot of big mess, and this chicken will splatter on you, especially with the oil as hot as it was. You put the cool chicken in there, and that oil will jump up at you. So with that splash guard, that tends to protect not only my own skin and my arms and hands from the hot oil, but it stops the oil from splattering all over the stove and the countertop. Okay, so we've turned the chicken a couple of times, and it's getting nice and golden. It's getting there, it's getting there. Everything looks like it's coming along nicely. I have my boiling water on the back burner. I'm gonna do some rice and then some steamed broccoli. The main staples: starch, vegetable, and protein. And the chicken's coming along nicely. I'm going to turn it a couple of more times, and then we should be done with this phase. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these son of bitches is just about done. They are golden brown, and they are ready to be thrown into the barbecue sauce. I have put the other two pieces on because those are the pieces I didn't have a chance to get in. I couldn't fit them into the fryer. So these bad boys are just about ready to be buffaloed, and I will take you all to the very next step. I got the rice going, and we're almost there. Home stretch. I also just wanted to take a minute to point out to y'all that if you didn't want to go the next step and do the buffalo wings, as I'm going to show you, you could serve these bad boys up right at the table right now, and I'm guarantee you your company would come over and it'd be gone in a lickety-split. Because this is basically a classic fried chicken wing right here. Get a little hot sauce, a little salt, and you're good to go. But we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to barbecue these bad boys and make them official buffalo style. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back now. We've got the chicken all fried up, golden brown. And so now we're going to get into our buffalo sauce. So we're going to turn this heat on to about medium. And that barbecue sauce mixture that you saw me make in the beginning is now going to go into this little skillet. And we're going to heat it up. And when this gets heated nice and hot, we're going to bring it to a little bit of a boil. And we're just going to mix that chicken in, get it all covered, sauced up. Because, again, in my opinion, the key to great buffalo wings, unless you're looking for the sriracha sticky wings, which is generally what happens when you do them in the oven, because it's hard to get that crispy outer skin when you do them in the oven, and also if you do it sriracha style, because you're actually looking for that stickiness. It's important that, as you can see, the skin is nice and crispy, and it's hard, right? And that's what you want when it goes into the buffalo sauce, because when I bite into my drumlet, I want to hear that crunch on the outside, but I want to taste all of that explosive flavor on the inside. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we're back to the pièce de résistance, and this is the part that separates the chefs from the amateurs. My secret ingredient is going to be about a teaspoon and a half, teaspoon and a quarter of butter. I'm throwing it right into this boiling mixture. And you think to yourself, oh, he's going to add butter to the barbecue sauce? And the answer to that is absolutely. And the reason why we do that is because this mellows out all of those wonderful, deliciously flavored, blended flavors, and it adds a smooth, velvety texture to your sauce, and really takes it to the level of buffalo style. So as you watch, and I'm melting the last of this butter in my sauce, that sauce smells really, really good. Oh, that's music to my nose. Absolutely delicious. The sweetness, the tanginess, right where you want it to be. And you get this bubbling up real good, bubbling brown sugar, but not really brown sugar, it's barbecue sauce. In fact, it's my mixture. But it's bubbling, and you see where we're at, And what we want to do right along here, we get our chicken, and we just douse it right in. We turn our fire down a little bit, we just douse it right on in. Douse it right on in. The chicken's nice and dry, has a nice crusty shell, crusty skin to it. It's a beautiful thing. And we just put all the pieces up in this piece. You want to handle them relatively gently. You don't want to tear the skin, because nobody wants to eat busted chicken wings with the skin peeled off. And we've turned the heat down to a nice low. And now we're just going to gently turn these boys. Gently turn them. See that? See how wonderful that is? And we are buffaloing what was otherwise fried chicken wings. We want to cover these generously all, one and all, in this delicious sauce. And again, as I said, what we're going for is that beautiful, crispy bite on the outside, followed by the explosion of flavor on the inside. And that's where we're going to be at. Now, you could do the chef toss. You could just pick this thing up and do the chef's toss if you want, but I'm not all that fancy. I'm not into that. I'll just gently turn these boys, again, remembering not to burst the skin. Nobody likes a busted skin buffalo wing. And yeah, these are coming along just love, 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 love. All right? And we'll be right back at you when these jokers are all done. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have Rapid Rod's buffalo style buffalo wings. And these bad boys are about as good and crunchy and juicy as you could want. But stay with me, because I'm about to saute my broccoli. and we'll take you into the side dishes next. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you now how I'm going for my vegetable. Rice is already done in the back. And for my vegetable, I'm going to be sauteing it in this saucepan. And it's broccoli, fresh broccoli, cut and cleaned by me. And I blanch my broccoli before I cook it. And I get stupid with the blanching. I don't just blanch it in cold water. I blanch it in ice water. So I've got my fresh broccoli in the little the bowl there, and I've got ice cubes all over it to really chill that water and make that broccoli really blanched. So when I do saute it in a little olive oil and butter, salt and pepper, a little garlic sauce, it's going to cook up beautifully and have a nice crunch to it, but that delicate flavor, and it'll be tender on the inside, but a little bit crunchy on the outside. Slightly al dente, as I like it. So stay with me. Okay, so I got the broccoli out of the water that was blanching in. The florets are all spread out. Now what I need to do now is dry these bad boys. I want to dry them completely before I stir fry them. Because that's the secret to keeping them nice and crisp as they're stir fried. You want your vegetables as dry as possible when you're stir frying them in the skillet. So we've got the skillet out. But we've got, about a couple of teaspoons full of olive oil in the pan. You want the olive oil to get nice and hot. We've got the florets here, and they're all dried off nicely. And we just toss them right in the pan. And these boys will crackle up like that. See how they crackle up? Throw these boys right in there. Because we stir frying these bad boys. We stir frying them. And what we're going to do, now why it's crackling, because there's still a little water in the broccoli, and that's basically why it's gotten off like that. I probably could have used a little bit more oil. Yeah, I think I put a little bit more oil in there. That should do it. As I stir fry these boys. And I want them just to soften up and wilt down just a little. And I'm going to cover them. But not before I salt and pepper. Yep, looks like I'm out of salt, so I'll go with the old Lawry's. You never go wrong with Lawry's. It's a really unique flavor and I love it. Oh yeah. So, I mean, if you want to get fancy, you can throw, still need more oil. You could throw some garlic in there, and onions, and basically put whatever flavors in there that you like. You can't really go wrong. Turn this fire down just a little. So what we're going to do now, throw in the butter, and this is going to steam fast, this is going to burn fast, so we want to just get that butter flavor